Good evening, everybody. Nance from Star and Flurry coming at you tonight with some stuff, some new tarot, a couple of oracles, which I'm not a big oracle user. Um, Although I don't know why I'm attracted to them because I just don't use them that much, but they're pretty cool. I never look at myself on the camera. I just turn it on and off I go. So welcome back. So anyways, I've got some oracle to show you, some tarot to show you, a couple of not vintage, but ones that I'm sure you're familiar with, but are new to me. And what else? And a bit of a rant, not a bad rant. Well, it's kind of a bad rant. And then some funny coasters that I picked up at my local store downtown. So, anyways, welcome. Cheers. I hope everybody's having a terrific day and evening. I had a particularly terrific day because I have a woman who has been with me for 5 years who comes in. I think I mentioned before, about every 3 weeks to kind of do a deep cleaning in the areas that need it in my home. She doesn't tidy; she just cleans. And she I learned this lesson from actually my dad and my mom because houses are hard to keep up. I mean, I don't have anybody else living here. It's just me, and that's enough. If I had kids, I don't even know where I'd go. Or grandkids, I guess. I'm at that age now. But anyways, so she comes about every 3 weeks or so. I guess that's kind of how it averages out. But she's been gone for a while. And we used to try to do it every 2 weeks, but she would just not show up, and I was beginning to get frustrated with the what's the word? Just with lack of consistency. And then I mean, in the long run, it turned out that I really don't need her, but every 3 weeks. But then if something runs right, 'cause she's got 3 kids. She one who's 11, and then a young adult who I think is 18, 19, 20, and then an older son who's in 21, 22, 23, something like that. One's in Portland, one's living here. Finally moved out of the house, and then the little one that she takes care of that's still in her house has an ex who's ill, so she takes care of him. So just a lot of she's got a busy freaking life, and and she just got her U.S. citizenship, which was a really big celebration. Well, not just it was several months ago, but just a big celebration. She's been working on it for years, doing it the proper way, everything all the right way. Um, for those of you wondering, but she finally passed her test and got her thing. Everything was cool, so it was really exciting. But her son is over in Portland quite a bit, and so she travels there for things and whatever. And kind of going on and on and on about this. Anyway, she's great. I love her to death, but she can be on occasion inconsistent because she's got a life. And of course, I don't, and therefore I focus on the fact that she has a life, which is very cool. Anyways, so frequently she will call and cancel last minute or whatever. So she's gone for like 3.5 weeks. I haven't heard boo from her. So I finally reached out to her a couple of days ago. And she goes, "Oh, sorry, my oldest was having some immigration issues, and but we've got them all sorted out. All the papers are signed, and everything's good. But I've been in Portland for the last week, so I'm here now. And can I come on Friday?" And I was like, "Great." So that's good. So that was a couple of days ago. So I had 2 days to fricking get my house in order before she showed up because, as I've often said, her arrival is my job, my pre-job before she gets here is to get everything tidied up, and I can let it go. And I count on her in a weird way. I count on her to come because that keeps me on task. When she doesn't come, then I fall off task, and I had particularly fallen off task recently. And so so she says, "I'll come on Friday." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, that gives me 2 days to get my place in order," which was fine. So I scrambled, not scrambled. It wasn't a disaster. I just don't. I tend not to put things away. Pull them out, pull a pair of scissors out, and then I never put them away. Then I need them and I can't find them. That kind of stuff. And I'm particularly bad at laundry, so there's that. Um, so Anyway, so I'm scrambling around this morning, getting everything done and getting everything tidy, and I'm so happy. And the only thing I have left to do is the upstairs, which I kind of half did this morning, but I still had a lot of um, laundry and stuff to kind of get organized and tidied and folded and that kind of stuff. And all of a sudden I hear a ping email or a text, and so I go down and it's from Ariana. She says, "Sorry to cancel last minute, but I have a really bad cold." And I'm like, I mean, and I'm like, "Thank God," because I did want to do the laundry. I didn't. It's like the least favorite task of mine ever. Um, and so I didn't want to do it, and I'm putting it off to life. In fact, I set an alarm. I said I have to begin that task at noon, otherwise it's going to be a mess when she shows up at 1. And so she texted me about 11:30. So I was like, "Woo!" It was like a snow day. I got a day off from from having to tidy my house, which was very exciting. So I wished her well, told her to get lots of rest and drink lots of fluids, and I'll see her next week. So, and I got most of the job tidied. So that was fun. So I did continue later in the afternoon on my own pace doing my laundry. And so now that's in the dryer, and I'm very glad about that. Anyway, so I thought that was funny, though. Sometimes just when you least expect it, the greatest things happen. And this was one of them for me, at least. So that was fun. What else? So a couple things. Lisa Papez announced today, if you're not on her newsletter, she announced today that she got accepted. Well, she actually announced it a couple of days ago that she got, pardon me, her Kickstarter got accepted for her Unicorn Journeys Tarot that she's been working on for the last year and a half, 2 years maybe. Um, so I'm very excited for her. It looks really cool. She's been giving sneak peeks and sneak previews, and she reads when she does her monthly reads with uh, her peeps. She always includes that deck, which is really cool. Sorry, I've got some little burps going on. Um, anyway, so she announced that her Kickstarter got accepted and is going live on April 20th. So for those of you who, and she asked us to spread the word, so I'm spreading the word to the 300 folks that are in my 331, I think was the last count. Thank you so much, by the way. Oh my gosh, I sat at that 322 forever, and it was really fun to see it leap up over 330. So thank you so much. Really, I mean, oh my gosh, I'm so touched by that. Glad to have you. So anyway, so I'm passing along that word that if you're not on a newsletter or whatever, to the April 20th, mark your calendars, go into Kickstarter and click the notify me button so that you're on tap to do it. Now, a couple of warnings. It's going to be expensive, but she is, especially if you're, I think, Canadian, because it's expensive in US dollars as well. But you know what? Linen, 350, I think it's 350 GSM black core, German black core. I mean, top of the line. This is not a deck you need to buy one of and then two backups because your first one's going to fall apart. This thing's going to last forever. So it's worth the money. And it's a beautiful deck. I'm really excited to read the story associated with the deck. And the other cool thing is she's offering up also a mini deck, which is really exciting too. And I'm so excited about that. Now, the only thing, and I will say this out loud, I said it to her, so I feel free to say it to you. The size of her mini deck is teeny tiny. It's the size of the Retro Impressions portable. If any of you have that, it's small and small. And the thing that makes Retro Impressions tolerable is the fact that it's not, it doesn't have it's plastic. It's very flexible. It's plastic and super shuffleable, and it's 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 handleable. It's not my favorite small deck to work with. I prefer a little bit bigger. I realize now I didn't know there was a name for it, but it's Trump size, which is I can't 66 by 100 millimeters, something like that. And then there's a smaller one like the Diary of Skeleton Tarot. Their pocket version is I think 55 by 100, so that's a good size too for people with smaller hands. Anyways, so I wasn't gonna say anything, and I was like, you know what? Say something. So I wrote her a quick email, just FYI, just a suggestion, no big deal. I'll buy it either way. I don't care, because I super support what you're doing and I'm very excited about it. But might I suggest that you make that portable just a little bit bigger? On the other hand, like halfway through the email, I said, you know what? I know that Peggy, who is her wife, likes the smaller, teeny tiny editions. So I may be just trying to push my rock of an idea up a very steep hill. But anyways, but that's not going to stop me from buying it. I'm very excited about, and she is saying that it is also going to be linen and German buckcore, so it's going to be high quality all the way around. And get in early because she's going to have some early bird specials, which we want to take advantage of if we can. And anyways, let's help her get over that, over whatever her goal is. I don't know what it is yet. She hasn't listed it yet, but let's help her get over that. So just an FYI. It's Lisa Papez, and it's called The Unicorn Journeys Tarot. So I'm very excited about that. So that's my spiel on that. That's the only sales I'm doing tonight. Let's see. Oh, I was listening to something the other day. Somebody talking about. Oh, I wish I could remember who it was. I can't remember who it was. It might have been during the no, I don't think it was. I don't know. Anyways, the somebody mentioned if you struggle sometime with creativity and your ability to move forward with that, Gerald, talking to you, they suggested the book Big Magic by Liz Gilbert. Now I love her writing. I've read 2 of her books, Eat, Pray, Love, and I can't remember the other one. It was very good, but it didn't stick in my brain. But I decided to order Big Magic, and I put it on. Since I have audiobooks, I kind of a monthly thing. I've racked up several credits, so I thought I'll just put it on audiobook, um, and listen to it instead of a podcast, which is usually what I throw on when I'm doing dishes or whatever. And I started the podcast, and literally within 5 minutes, I was like, I'm ordering the book because there were notes. I was like, I want to highlight that. And you can't do that on an audiobook. That's the downside of audiobooks. Audiobooks are great for fictional stories, in my opinion. But when they're sorry, it seems like turn this on and out comes the nose. I don't know why. Probably because I don't talk that much. Now I'm talking. I don't know what it is. Anyways, so pardon me while I do this. But I knew immediately they wanted to highlight some of what she was saying because it was just really poignant little phrases here and there about what keeps people from being creative. And I agree with a lot of what she says. I don't agree with all of it because she talks about it in a really magical sense, kind of like tarot. And I still waffle on that quite a bit because I really believe that ideas are just our brains putting 2 and 2 together. We've already had the knowledge; we're just putting it together. So, and I believe in many ways that's what tarot does for us: is take 2 really disparate things and pulls them together for us, and out pops a new reality, or what we refer to in this world as an idea. But I think the idea has always been there. It's just a matter of us figuring it out. So, by the way, still working on that theory. I don't know if it's right or not, and I'm still working on my spiritual awareness and stuff because I do believe in a lot of that stuff. I'm just not sure I believe in magic as a with a wand kind of thing. Anyway, we can get into that another time. But anyways, this book was just really, really interesting, and I really liked how she talked about it. And I had so been there just in the first couple of chapters, so have been there in terms of the way she was thinking and how ideas can come, and they're like a gift, and you can act on them or not. I mean, making my own tarot deck was just the perfect example of that. It was like it hit me. I was going to make it. I dug out everything I had to make it. I made it. And then it was this arduous kind of pasted together, literally glued and pasted together tarot deck. And I was like, okay, now I need to photograph it so I can actually put it on cards, on make playing cards. Not for anybody else because I was using images that were from magazines and I don't know what the copyright rules on that are. So it wasn't anything I was going to publish. It's just going to be something I make for me. Although you have to kind of sign your life away to make playing cards. Well, no, you don't. Only if you're going to publish it. If you're just doing it for yourself, it's no big deal. I don't think. Anyways, so I did that, and it was just like it astounded me how quickly it came together, how motivated I was to finish it. How when I did finish it, it wasn't finished because I knew I wanted a real deck that you could shuffle. That wasn't going to get hung up on things I've pasted onto pieces of paper. And so that therein began another task of doing that, and then frickin' trying to wade through make playing cards clunky system of putting cards together. Once you get it down, it's pretty easy. But the first couple of tries was like, I don't think I can do this, and I was very discouraged. But I finally, how you kind of just like, I'm gonna get this no matter what, and so that's what I did, and I did, and so I printed. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I must have printed. I think initially I just printed 2 copies, and then I printed one as a backup, and then when I printed 3 more, I think. And I did give one to a friend of mine, Tammy Pie, and told her never to show this to anybody because it's not copyright or it's copyrighted or whatever. But thankfully, she ignored me and she put one couple of shots on Instagram, I think, which was very exciting to me to see it out there in the world, out there in the wild. That was very cool. But anyways, but so that was my like big idea, and it hit like a freaking lightning bolt, and I didn't let it go for days. And so that was really and I ended up with a really cool thing, or at least in my mind, a really cool thing because I made it. So so that was cool. But I also know that I know the struggles creators have and creativity can be for people because it becomes a task, and that's when you need to kind of make sure you're. I'm not, I'm not in a position to give advice, but I'm just saying. Yeah, anyway. Let me get back to the book. I just think the book is really interesting, and I thought there were a lot of things I wanted to get at, so I immediately ordered a hard copy, paperback hard copy, so I could do some annotations in this and that. 'Cause I think this book will be an eye opener for me, and I'm really looking forward to it. So that's for that. I told my cleaning lady start. Okay, so I'll do my little rant, and then I'll end with a funny thing. So my rant is that if you're going to do politically oriented readings, I would appreciate it from someone who fights very hard to not let conspiracy theories and this and that run amok in your life, and make sure that those same conspiracy, or not those same conspiracy theories, but other conspiracy theories are coming out of your side. And I experienced that today, and it really made me mad. And I was going to, I started to chime in the comments, and it was during a live, and I was like, oh, okay, you gotta back off. It's not your job to gatekeep what they're saying or fact check what they're saying. Maybe it is. I don't know. But I did feel like it was appropriate. So I didn't. I did chime in on one thing because they were talking about how oh well, if Trump gets back into office, what was the first thing they were talking about? Oh, they were talking about the Supreme Court ruling, and they were all reading on it, and they all decided, or not all, but some were saying no. I think they're going to change. I think they're feeling the backlash, and they're going to change. Um, they're going to change. They're going to change what they decided. It's like, no, they're not. That's not how it works. They've already set dates for arguments. It's locked in. Supreme Court is it's not loosey goosey. I mean, they throw these decisions out after very methodical rules and processions and protocols. So no, they're not going to come back and say, "Oh, sorry, we made a mistake. Let's shorten that timeline up, and we want all the arguments in by tomorrow." That's never going to happen, and it irritates me when there's a reader out there saying that that's going to happen because it's not. It's just not. And there's no one in the world that can come in and make them do that. They exist unto themselves. So the Supreme Court. So it's just like, no, that's not going to happen. And then another thing they talked about, one of the readers kept saying, well, I think you know what's going to happen if Trump gets into office? He's going to fire the entire Supreme Court. And I'm like, no. Now there's some fear mongering going on here because, look, I'm not a Trump fan. I don't think I'd get into politics much in here. Maybe I should. But no. Trump, sorry, I lost my screen. No. Trump cannot fire the Supreme Court. That's not how it works. The only way he can get rid of a justice is to have them impeached. And I can tell you right now that even today, if Biden tried to do that, let's say with Justice Thomas, to impeach him because of the meanderings of his wife and her connection with January 6th. And I don't have all my facts straight on that, but let's just say that was going to happen. It wouldn't happen because he has to be. The House has to do the impeaching, and then the Senate has to do the official the what's it called, the trial. Okay, so it'd be the same thing with Trump. Had to get impeached by the House, went to the Senate, got acquitted. So while being impeached is horrible, unless you're actually thrown out by the Senate, not going to happen. And it's the same thing with, I mean, even, the most controversial, I don't know, there's a million of them. There's many justices that I'm not fond of right now. But I could tell you, pick out the worst one, and they'll never be impeached. Not with the Dems holding the minority in the House, and even with this holding the majority in the Senate. It's not going to happen. So it bothers me when I hear a reader talking about politics and saying something like that, because it's just simply not true. So stop it. And, if you're going to read politics, then stay super brushed up on what's happening, what is going on up until like the moment you come on the air. There's two that I really like that actually do a really good job of that. And one is Black and Orange, in my opinion. Black and Orange Tarot, that she reads every morning at 10 o'clock Pacific time. And I turn her on every morning just in the background because I like kind of listening, and every once in a while a question will pique my interest and I'll enjoy listening to her read on that. And then the laureate, I think her name's Lori, at the Way of Positive Change, is also quite good at taking political questions and understanding the current facts and also how our government works. I mean, there are, there are three separate branches of government that act equally within the sphere of the government, and the Supreme Court is one of them. And the president, no president, even Trump, no matter what he does, well, unless he gets all, well, how many states would it be? The majority of states, I think it has. I don't even know. See, here I am fact checking myself. I don't know what it would take to disband the Constitution, but he'd have to have an incredible amount of support from almost every state in the union. And that'll never happen. So he is not going to disband. I mean, Texas might secede, Florida might secede. That's going to change our Constitution. And the only thing that can change our Constitution is the states. That's another thing when they say they'll just do a constitutional change. They're like, no, it's not like they put in a memo and say this is suddenly changed. Doesn't work like that. So stop saying that Trump's going to come in and fire the Supreme Court, because that's not going to happen. What he did do is he came in and fucking stacked the Supreme Court, and that with the help of Mitch McConnell, who he no longer trusts or believes in, whatever. But so, anyways, so that's my rant. Is it bothers me when politically oriented, and there's a bunch of them out there. I'm not going to name the one I was listening to, but there's a bunch of them out there that don't get their facts right. And I'm not talking about facts in terms of what is the latest news about some situation. I'm talking about how the government actually functions and works. And when they get those facts, well, not facts, it's just when they get that functioning incorrectly, and they say something that's going to scare people. No, don't do that. And because then we're just doing what the Republicans are doing, which is scaring the shit out of people. So sick of it. But no. I mean, well, you can scare the shit out of about what Trump might do, but one thing he will never do, won't be able to do, is fire the Supreme Court. That won't happen. So, rest assured. So, let's see. So now I've got some fun, and then we'll get to tarot. God, how long have I been on? Okay, it's not too bad. Okay, so I found these at a local store, and I just thought they were so funny. So these are little like coasters. So this is the first one. It says, "I've reached that age where my brain goes from you probably shouldn't say that to what the hell? Let's see what happens." I've been here since about 62. So welcome to the club. If you're creeping up closer, if you've already, I was listening to somebody the other day who was saying, I turned 30 and now I can do whatever I want. And I'm like, oh, honey, no, you can't. You don't, you have not experienced your freedoms yet. You will. They're coming, but I don't think you're there yet. But anyways, this one just cracked me up because it's so true. And then, one minute you're young and fun, and the next you're turning down the stereo in your car so you can see better. I'm so there. Anybody else have that? You're driving along, and all of a sudden things get a little dicey on the road. You immediately turn the radio down because it just makes you concentrate better. Yeah, old person brain. Thank you very much. Thankfully, I was not in a job where we did Zoom meetings. I'm trying to think if we did. No, we didn't. We could. We they might have come up, but we never actually did them. This one cracked me up. So me, this show is boring. Boss, again, this is a Zoom conference. So that was really funny. Shout out to all those working from home because, yeah, that's got to be tough. So let's talk quickly about some tarots and some oracles. So the first one is the Outlaw Oracle. I don't know where I saw this. I saw this. It was some, I don't know if it was a 2023 roundup or what, but anyways, it's called the Outlaw Oracle. It comes in a gigantic cigarette box with a nice little I got a little nice note from the creator, and then a very chunky little white book that really has some nice info, keywords, and then kind of the uprights in reverse, and then also has recommended songs. I didn't even see that before. I obviously haven't gone through the guidebook thoroughly, but anyways, it looks really fun, and I'm enjoying this deck a lot, and I can't wait to use it more. And I just paired it with the one I'll show in a second, or a little bit, called the it might go with that really well too. But I pulled up the Lo Scarab tarot, which I've had for a long time, but I think I just didn't give it its due when I first got it in, and so I just have rediscovered it, partially through seeing somebody display the Lo Scarab Five of Pentacles, and I'm like, that's a gorgeous card. Where'd that come from? And then when I figured it out, I realized I had the deck. So Yahoo. Anyway, so this is called the Outlaw Oracle. It's 44 cards. Backs are kind of cool, and it's photographic. So it has these photographs and then a keyword, and then I know you can't see the little words underneath, but it's additional words underneath. So this one says monarch, obviously butterfly, and it says, and underneath it says transformation, rebirth, smoke. Some of these you can read, I guess. Smoke, vision, signals. Roadside, I love this one. Roadside motel, stability, security. Oh, that reminds me of our parents and I and my brother. We took a lot of trips down to the Southwest. We stayed in a lot of hotels like that. Neon sign, Cattleman's Cafe. And the underwords are homecoming and opportunities, which is interesting because I worked for the Black Angus for quite a while. Whiskey, stubbornness, perseverance, numbing. So this isn't a love and lightness, you're great and wonderful and everything will be fine deck. It gives you some good stuff. So this is Dust Bowl. I love that photograph. Oh, darkness, blackout, oblivion. Good time and man, heartbreaker, silver tongued, smooth. Well, not a guy like that. Saloon, escapism, good times, hideout. Our local Tinder. Boot, prepared and accomplished. So anyways, it goes on and on like that. I just love it. And then it's got this. You hear that? Slidey cards. Love it. Very nice cardstock. And then it's not the textured matte gilding, but it's not the super shiny either. And it's held, you can see it kind of matte, but it's not there's the shiny, and then there's the almost the one that has the texture. This is not that. This is kind of the halfway in between. Anyways, I love this deck. I'll put a link down below. It's just been I've really enjoyed it so far. And stop that. And I love the little box it comes. It's just so stinking adorable. And then another one, I think this is a Kickstarter that I bought. I could open it. And it's called A Field Guide to Wonder Walking. So it's the Wonder Walking, a deck. It's called A Deck for Wonder Walking. So let's praise the box. First of all, it's gorgeous. It's got a little bit of we're gonna call it gold foil, just some raised. You can kind of see it in the light. Well, you could. There it is. There we go. But the box opens up completely flat. Thank you. 10 stars. You've done good. And then, I didn't say who this was. Let me go back to the Outlaw. I meant to give credit to the author. If I can, if they note their names up front. Copyright by Hilary Banks Self. Hilary Banks Self. And Yana Saint Lavie. So it just says written by Hilary Banks Self and designed by Hilary Banks Self and Yana Saint Lavie. So that's the Outlaw Oracle. Okay, and then the Guide to Wonder Walking is Exploring Enchantment, the Art of Amy T. Wan, Wonder Walks and Adventuring. www.amytwan.com/shop. So AMYT as in Tom, Wan, WON. Anyways, and so there's a little brief little journal that comes. It's kind of a foldy thing, which comes with it. I don't know if there's a thing or not. These are the backs. They're very cool, actually. And it has it also has a gold gild, but this is more of the this is more of the textured as opposed to the shiny matte. So they're shiny matte, and then more this texture, but it's not rough at all. It's really nice. And these are watercolors. They're just gorgeous. I would say the only downside is that the font is a little small, but I appreciate it being small because the fact that it doesn't disrupt the artwork is really nice. But it's a white font, I think, in all of these. Yeah, and so sometimes you can't even read it in the artwork, but that's okay. You can figure it out. So this one is Dawn. And of course, it's on landscape. Connect. Fairy Worlds. And this is one, for instance, it's hard to read. Of course, I'm in the dark here, kind of. Oh, here's a black font. The Sun. Well, might not have been horrible to use the black on everything, but that's okay. Flora. Dream. So I'm looking forward to working with this a little bit. I love this one, Immersion. Look at that octopus. Immersion. What a great word, God. Following the rabbit. Synesthesia. Okay, I don't even know what that means. I'm going to look it up. If I think about it, I'll put it down in the description so we don't all have to wonder. Memory. I just think these are beautiful. I'll stop there. But anyways, it's a lovely, lovely, beautiful deck that I'm very excited to spend more time with and get into the guidebook a little bit I don't remember how many cards are in it. It's not teeny tiny, but it's not huge either. Does it say? I don't think it even says. But anyways, it's, just see here, 48 cards. And 4 suits, one for each realm of the labyrinth of enchantment, though they can be reorganized to create your own unique Wonderwalking deck. So yes, so so at this point I highly recommend, only because it's a beautiful, beautiful, well done deck, beautiful presentation. Thank you, Amy. So this is a new. So I have 2 new and 2 old. Well, not old, but 2 new, old decks new to me. So this one just kills me. It's called the Dramatis Personae Tarot. And again, I can't remember who I got turned on to. Somebody doing a 2023 wrap up or whatever. So it's literally based on old opera photographs and singers. And one of the things that my dad and I used to love to do, I think I've told those stories before, is go. He was a huge Portland Opera fan. Shout out to Portland Opera. They are just really good at what they do. Except, unfortunately, I was sad because I had to drop the season tickets after he died because they're super expensive. but I was tempted to go to a couple of operas this year because it was hard, it was difficult after first couple of years after he died, because it just, going to the opera was him and me, and it was just a memory that was really hard to deal with. But I kind of got remotivated again this year, and come to find out that there were really only, I mean, I'm sure there were operas, but there were only really 2 major ones, and the rest were not what I would consider traditional opera, and that was sad. And none of them were ones I wanted to see. So that's the end of that. So I'll keep watching. Anyways, this intrigued me because of that, and I thought, well, the little historical reference and fun memories for me might exist in this deck. So first of all, here's the deck. It's a full tarot deck, and it comes with this beautiful. I don't recall ordering this separately. I think it just came with it. Really cool wraparound thing. And the only downside, and is that it has a snap, so you have to be careful that when you put the deck away, if you keep this with it, to make sure this is on the snap side, so you're not pressing into the cards to get the snap shut. But other than that, it's beautiful. And look at the fabric on the inside. So I'll show you that, and then let me show you the backs of the deck. Very cool. So and then let me show you some cards. So it's a collage deck. I think it's digital. I think I read that. I could be wrong. And then if you get the online book, it describes where each of these photos had been taken and what opera they came from and the character that the person is playing. And it's very cool. So you notice the elements. I think the elements are only listed on the court cards. But I just love these. Oh my gosh. Now, granted, I don't know a lot of the operas these came from. Operas are old, but these are ancient. Not La Boheme, but maybe there's one there. But I love the color palette of this. I love that it's very minimal in many ways. I love the Hermit. Oh my gosh. This guy, Wands, 7 of Wands. I love this card, the 2 of Cups. Look at those pants. Oh my God. Those are so great. 9 of Pentacles. I love how they got the kind of the almost sepia colored photographs, and then the coloration. And the rest of it, adding the little touches that needed to be added. Justice. It literally looks, the scales look exactly like the ones I used in my deck. King of Pentacles. Oh my God, look at him. Oh God, he's just so good. Knight of Swords. King of Cups. Oh, I love the turban. Oh my God, look at those pants. Oh my God. Anyway, so, I gotta show this one. Five of Pentacles. It's just stunning. Look at her face. So forlorn. Anyways, just this is such a cool deck. And I can't wait to dig into it more. I haven't had much time with it. It literally came like 2 days ago. But I want to make sure I get the... Anyways, I'll do the light. Oh, there it is. So yeah. So I'm really looking forward to working this, and it just makes me smile looking at it because it just reminds me of my dad. And then the other one that I just got is the Wildlands. Now there's another one, and I wish I looked this up ahead of time. I'll note it below. The Northern something, but it's very similar. I wonder if they mention it in here. Once again, I haven't done my homework. Did they mention what their other decks were? I can't see it. Ah, I'm sorry, but this little teeny font print, come on. People, I realize that you can all read it now, but in 20 years, come on. You know, maybe, and I haven't looked further, maybe they have a digital copy I can find. So, nice metal box, but not a lie flat. That's okay, I don't care. Some kind of gold foiling on the inside. I won't bother you with reading it all. But I do love this, the world map on the inside of the box, and underneath it says Rome to reveal, which I think is very cool. Anyways, it's like a Polaroid, like somebody's taken a Polaroid of stuff. And then they've added some gold, very reminiscent of the Linescape tarot. With their, although this is the embellishments aren't as delicate as the Linescape. These are kind of more in your face. I see, and I can't read it. So this is just, I could have known it by looking at it. Justice. Hierophant? No. 3 Ankhs. And Ankhs are... I should remember what they are. So there's wands, Ankhs, wands, coins. Apparently it's just coins and wands. And Ankhs, cups. So Ankhs must be pentacles. I don't know why that took me so long, so sorry about that. Anyways, so, but really, really just cool kind of, and again, like it was done on a Polaroid. Let me see the kind of the holographic. But it's really pretty, really airy. Kind of beginning to know, I'm sure, the kind of decks I really like. Ones that have room to breathe. Anyways, these are really cool. And I don't think my camera's not doing any of these justice. They're just really beautiful. And the backs are really cool too. Very holographic. You see the moons? Isn't that pretty? Yeah, very cool deck. And this is created by Leah Showman of Dark Moon Crystals. And again, I'll put links down below to all of these, and also to the other deck that she created that I have links in the North something, and I can't. I hope I have that right. But anyways, both of them are really cool decks, and I enjoy working with them. So 2 vintage ones. One I just got. Oh, I forgot the deck. So this also came with a nice little chunky white book. Is the original 1909 Little Scarab B. I saw somebody showing this. I've become very enchanted with Waite-Smith decks. And I was just listening to somebody today who was saying, you know, why do we call it Rider Waite-Smith? Rider is the publisher. That's like calling something the Llewellyn blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah. So I'm trying to just call it the Waite-Smith deck. Even though RWS is really easy to see as well. Anyway, so this is just the standard Lasered Roses. But what I like about this, I wish I had it. Is this regular tarot card size? It's I think it is. This is just a little thinner than the tarot deck, kind of standard little Scarab. But I will tell you that the cardstock is the old, so it may just be an older. I got it brand new from no, I bought it from last. Did I buy it Los Scarab? I can't remember. But anyways, the cardstock is quite hardy, hardier than what they're producing now. So this is probably what they refer to as old stock. Anyways, so yeah, very pretty. And of course, it's just the standard Rider-Waite images. But I like it because it's just that little bit thinner. So I'll stop showing because you all know these images. A little bit thinner makes it just that skosh a little bit easier to shuffle. And then the other old new deck to me is the Lo Scarabeo. It's just the Lo Scarabeo, their brand deck. So it has the Lo Scarabeo logo on the backs, reversible. It's got a little, this is probably newer because it's got kind of the more waxy cardstock. But it's just, and it comes with a little white book in a tuck box. It's a little more pastel than I would prefer, but I don't have to have the big, bold colors either all the way. I like the big, bold colors, but I don't need them all the time. This is just really pretty, and I wish I could find the, oh, it's near the back. The thing that made me re-look this up, once again, everybody loves when he's scrolling through a deck, looking for a specific card. But the thing that got me looking at this one again is the Five of Pentacles. Here it is. It's just so lovely. So yeah, it's a beautiful deck, and I'm looking forward to. It's funny because I just pulled it out today, and in the few times that I've done little mini readings here and there, it's the one I keep reaching for. I love the Hermit in this one too. So love. Anyway, so check it out. I think I ordered this one from Lo Scarabeo. It came really fast. Oh, and then I wanted to give a shout out, putting it in a really cool bag. I do that. I've done this before. I'm going to do it again. Called Borsabella. I put the blue thing on it. It's called Borsabella. Borsabella. She has the best bags. They're so reasonably priced. Zipper, and they have they've some kind of batting or something. They're protective, and they're perfect for any kind of pretty typical Lo Scarabeo or typical sized tarot deck. If you've got a deck that's particularly thick or at all wider than normal, not great. There's a little extra space in here. Here's the deck all the way down, but there's a little extra room here. So I've got what's the one that I just got? The borderless edition of the Moon Goddess Tarot, which is quite thin but quite a bit longer. Fits perfect in one of these bags. So I can't recommend her more highly. I'll throw a link in the description. She's on Etsy, and I told her I'd give her a shout out. I didn't receive anything for this. That's not why I'm doing it. I just really appreciate her work, and her these bags are just stupendous. Highly recommend. That's it from here, peeps. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy tomorrow. Have a beautiful weekend, and we'll see you around next time. Thanks so much for coming by, and I'll see you later. Star and Flurry out.